Well, hello, YouTube. It's only been a few hours since we last spoke. I am not in my truck. So, my channel is to document my experience coming from one profession to another that I knew absolutely nothing about, and I always promise to give you all the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, I have all three going on right now. No, seriously, I changed shirts just for y'all. So, in the midst of doing that, my truck shut off. And I was like, hello, it's hot outside. Truck's not supposed to shut off. So for those of you who don't know, out here, especially in the summertime, we never turn our trucks off, like ever. We live in there and it gets really freaking hot, really fast. So unless we're stepping away from the vehicle, we don't turn it off. Like, we just don't. And if it wasn't illegal to leave your vehicle idling, we probably would leave it on even then. But it is against the law, so thank God the trucks are big, the air conditions work really, really good and really, really fast. So even when you are away and you come back, it's not like it takes 5 years to cool off. So that's a plus. My truck stopped idling because a common problem that I've had with this truck since I got in it is the cruise control does not want to fucking work. That creates a lot of problems. You would think driving the truck would be one of them. That's like lower on the list. As soon as I realized, I saw that little symbol shining in my face, I called my driver leader immediately. So not having the cruise control working means that my truck won't idle. I don't know how the two go together. I don't know a damn thing about mechanics, but for whatever reason, with the Freightliners, I don't know about other trucks because I haven't driven other trucks, but with the Freightliners, I've been in a new 2020 Freightliner, I've been in the 2017 Freightliner, 15, and now I'm currently in a 16. On my way out of that bitch. We'll get to that in a minute. But I knew taking this truck, as I stated before, was going to have a lot of problems, but I was only going to be in it for a few weeks, so I just wanted to drive. I really didn't give a shit about what the problems were. Being a company driver, if there's something wrong with the truck, you get to the terminal, whatever terminal you're closest to, and you get it fixed. The problem that I've been running into is that there's a problem almost every day. So I've had engine problems, heating problems. This cruise control has been a thorn in my side since day one. I got in the truck to go get my first load, searching for that trailer that took me 4 hours to find. Fucking cruise control didn't work. So already when I got to Laredo, I knew I was gonna have to put the truck in the shop. And I'll talk about why it is crucial to have your cruise control working, especially as a Swift driver, in a minute. So, yeah, I called the driver leader right away. I said, hey, I'm getting ready. Like, I had already gotten ready to fuel and shut it down because I needed to reset. Today was, my clock was no more time. So, I said, without the cruise control and the truck being able to idle, I'm going to cook out here. So, with no hesitation, absolutely no problems at all. At this point, my truck is laughable, and they know it, and we're all working to get me back to Texas. My 17th wedding anniversary is Thursday, and we realized a few days ago, because of where my hours were going to reset me, there was no way I was going to get back to Texas in time. I'm way in Indiana. Excuse me. I travel a lot. So I have actually been working my way going back down south, but I keep picking up stuff here and there. So I didn't get quite as far down as I would have liked to have gone. So I am going to pick up a load on Thursday night here in Indiana and start making my way back to Texas, but I won't be there till Saturday night. So, miss my anniversary, but still get to spend time with the hubby and kids this weekend. So, I was preparing to do my 34. Now I'm in the hotel. So, when I got here, parking was interesting to say the least. Luckily, I've had to put that truck in some really interesting parking spaces this week, that's for sure. So this one, while it was really, really tight and took some maneuvering, we got her in there and she's nice and tight next to a Ace truck. There's a whole bunch of truckers here at this hotel that I'm at, so it must be the thing. Or there's a lot of people resetting. I don't know. I don't really talk to people in the trucking world. So anyways, I get here, I parked before I came in. I saw other trucks here, so I was like, well, this must be the place to be. I come in and she doesn't have any more rooms that they can credit for or discount for truck drivers. A lot of hotels, especially right off the interstate, do give discounts for truck drivers and stuff like that. The only thing that she had available was just 2 rooms that were both king-size suites. And she was just like, I know you just parked. She was like, but companies don't pay for those rooms, blah, blah, blah. Without hesitation, I said, Swift is really good about taking care of their people. I'm sure there shouldn't be a problem. And while she was very doubtful, I was not. And thank God Swift came through, right? That could have been really awkward. But no, I explained what was going on and they didn't ask any questions. They didn't try to negotiate or bargain. They just outright paid it. So got my bill here. They sent the money to my Comdata card, so it wasn't like I had to pay for it and then they paid me back. Nope, they took care of me right then and there. They even put a little extra on there, and they've done that. When I was coming off the first Mentors truck and I was in Colorado, they put extra on there. Swift just really is, sorry, I'm checking have food coming, so I want to make sure I'm off the video and so I don't have to cut y'all short like I did before. That man just snuck up on me. I figured I'd be there for a few more hours, but his team got it together and I was in and out of there like in 35 minutes. It was astounding considering I'd been waiting for hours at the previous locations. So there's a lot of people that talk a lot of shit about Swift, and I've researched a lot of them, and what I find is that the problems that they had or that they're complaining about with Swift weren't really Swift problems. They were problems with the driver themselves. And just really, I don't want to say use the word conform, but I'll just say that because I'm really tired and can't think of a better word right now. People that just aren't very flexible and kind of, I'm not going to say kind of, I'm not going to candy coat something I don't really know, but from my observation, don't really understand the industry. And I will be the first to admit it, when I first came into this, even though, like I said, I was on trucks a lot as a child, and even as I got older, I didn't know anything. So coming out here, I was just a passenger. There was a lot of things. I mean, going back to my first mentor video where I was just astounded, like my jaw was literally on the floor by some of the things that this man was having me do. And now I can look back and say that, yeah, I was I was really overreacting. Do I agree with some of the stuff that went on? No, I don't think I ever will. Could I have handled it different? Well, I think that there is room for improvement with all situations, but in short, the truthful answer is yeah, I think I could have handled it a lot different. But in that moment, that's what I felt. And as I document my journey, you know, there's things that'll happen sometimes, like earlier, whenever those people were like seriously unloading, not the pallets, because they didn't have a way to unload the pallets. They were manually taking these boxes off the pallets and rolling them into the store. I thought that was pretty interesting. So I stopped what I was doing and got on the phone and showed it to y'all. And that's really how I try to document this. If I plan videos and get to that point where, you know, I'm buying gadgets to make the videos, you know, more, I don't know, good. I don't, I'm not a professional videographer. I'm pretty sure that's obvious. Nor do I want YouTube to be like a job or anything. The sole purpose of doing this was to document a female coming into a male-dominated industry, which that's changing, by the way. I think that I'm not one of those girl power, you're not going to catch me wearing a vagina on my shirt. I actually think a lot of those women are radicals. And that's another conversation for a much later time. I'm not one of those. I have a lot of friends that fall into that girl power category, and I don't talk to them that much anymore. But I will say, as a female coming into this industry, I was, even though, you know, I'm covered in tattoos, I'm very street smart, I was raised by some interesting parents, to say the least, I could take care of myself. But coming out here, you do always kind of wonder, like, you know, what the hell am I getting into? But I actually see a shitload of females out here. There's a lot of us out here in the trucking industry. Just when I was putting fuel earlier, there were 7 lanes. Not one of them had a male trucker at it, and I've never seen that happen. I usually see quite a few. Every single one of our trucks, we were all female drivers. I thought that was pretty cool. Whether male or female are better, I think that it doesn't matter what is between your legs, what your DNA or genetic makeup is. I think that if you want to be a safe driver, you'll be a safe driver. And I think that if you want to drive like a crazy neurotic moron, that you're going to drive like that. I see really good and bad in both on the road. So I don't know, to each their own. But coming into trucking as a female, not knowing anything, and coming from such a polar opposite industry, I was a professional makeup artist, for God's sakes, coming into doing this, you know, I just thought it would be interesting to document it, especially for other females that are out there, coming from a female-dominated industry, which is widely being taken over by men now. Boys, I should say. Some of them are not men. You know, the dynamic is completely different, obviously, but it's pretty cool to get to see both sides of the spectrum. And I thought it was important to document that, especially working with women in the makeup industry and the beauty industry. You know, a lot of them have these weird things that they, you know, they have their bucket list, and, you know, truck driving is on a lot of females' minds. They just want to know if they can do it. They don't want to do it as a job or a career. They just want to drive a big truck. So, you know, I'm documenting for that girl or that woman who just wants to know that there's other women that are out here, and maybe I can help her, you know, tip the scale and help her make that decision. And for, you know, the single moms out there that, you know, or even if you're not single, it really doesn't matter. You know, it is a way to provide for your family and get to see the country and do all of these amazing things at the same time. So is it hard being a mom and doing this? Absolutely. I'd be lying if I said oh yes, get away from your kids, it's great. For the first few days, I'm not gonna lie, it's like being on a fucking vacation. But that's anywhere. So that honeymoon phase doesn't last very long, maybe a couple of nights, and then you're just kind of like, okay, this is awkward. Especially with me, my kids are grown. I have a girl that's in her 20s, and then I have 2 teenagers, so I've been with my kids their entire lives. So this is a change up. But that was my purpose in doing this, to document it for other females. So, hopefully it helps. And if it doesn't, well, maybe this isn't the right channel for you. But being without your cruise control, going back to the main point of this, I'm tired, y'all. I'm waiting for food, haven't eaten. So excuse my rambles. But no, the importance of the cruise control, other than the fact that my truck won't idle, at Swift, our trucks are governed to not go faster than 63 miles an hour. With the cruise control, we get 65. May not seem like a lot to most people, but when your time is money, it definitely makes a difference in the long run. At the end of a very long trip, it adds up. And my personal issue, I don't know if everybody else has this issue, but I know I've driven the truck. The cruise control has been an issue since day one. And every time it goes out, I'm usually on a long fucking journey. The trucks bounce, okay? So it's not like your car where you just put your foot on the pedal and go like this, and it just stays down. If you point your toe, your fucking car pedal will stay down. In the truck, because it bounces, unless you really have some force in your leg, you're like really pressing the accelerator down, your accelerator is going to go like this, up and down with the movement of the truck. So to prevent that from happening and keep a steady pace, y'all are going to watch me get my food. Sorry, I don't want to hang up on y'all again. To keep a steady pace going, hold up. There we are. Hello. To keep a steady pace going, you really have to use your whole leg. And so what happens is, thank you very much. So what happens is your muscles lock up and your leg starts burning. And it becomes a whole situation where you have physical pain. And in the short trips, not that big of a deal. You just push it and go and keep it moving. But when you're talking about 600 miles, 500 miles, hell, even 200 miles of constantly having to hold that accelerator down, it's painful. And you don't want the truck with the accelerator going up and down, up and down, up and down. It's really not good for your fuel. I can't imagine it's good for the engine. And your leg gets tired of doing that too. So the journey home is going to be a hard one because I have no cruise control. I am very far away from any Swift terminal. Most of the terminals are close together, but when you get up here, I'm in Indiana, when you get up here, Midwest, kind of going east states, they don't have any. So it's just one of those things where you suck it up and you keep moving. There's good, there's bad, and there's ugly in every situation. The good things, and there's plenty of them, is that I work for a company that, I can't speak for anyone else, but they do care about me as a driver. I haven't had any problems other than having to wait 5 hours being locked out of my truck. But again, that really, I don't think it falls on Swift. I mean, that's an on-road thing. That's what they pay them for. So, I'm pretty sure Swift doesn't pay on-road, but you know what I mean. They have other people that they contract out for that kind of stuff. So it's really not a Swift problem. It was really more of an on-road problem. But anytime I've had any issues, from the academy to being a student to coming out here solo, Swift has had my back 100%. So I can't say anything negative about them. I can say plenty of negative shit about that truck. And to be honest with you, even though that truck has put me through the ringer, I still have this bond with the truck. I actually asked the lady, I asked her first where the rooms were. And she said, well, they're way at the end of the hallway. And I said, that's perfect. If I could get the one closest to the back door, I could sleep better at night. My truck is parked right outside that back door, as are other trucks. But, you know, that truck is not only my job, but it's my home. I mean, that truck is my life. And like I said, even though I knew she was going to be temporary and she has really just stuck it to me, she's still mine at the end of the day. And, you know, if I told my husband, I said, if I have such a great bond with this truck that is just a POS, I'm going to have a serious love affair with the new truck. So I am going home for the weekend after I do this really long load. And then when I come back, they're going to put me in a different truck so I don't have to drive this one anymore, to go out to Phoenix to go get my new truck. So I get the new truck a week early, which is great. And I don't know what they're going to do with this one. Hey, I don't know. But these are just things that happen. So I was on my way to put fuel and lock it up for the night. There was actually a really nice casino right across the street from where I was going to be staying. That's where I wanted to spend the night. But it just didn't work out that way. You know, life happens and we keep rolling even when we're not in that truck. So am I going to complain about not having to sleep in my truck for 2 nights? No. I have a nice king-size bed that I will be sleeping in. I don't know that I can actually watch TV. I've gotten so used to watching my iPad. I don't know. We might have to see what's going on there. But I emptied out my refrigerator just in case. I didn't know if the outlets would still produce power with the truck off. Like I said, I am not a mechanic at all. I don't know a fucking thing other than, you know, how to change tires, oil, and put fuel in the vehicles. That's about it. So just to be safe, they have a very nice size refrigerator in here. I put all my stuff in here, so I am set up. So, yeah, that's the update for now. Thank you, Swift, for taking care of me, and thank you all for all your questions, concerns, suggestions. No concern, suggestion, or question, stupid, dumb. I accept them all. And, yeah, that's it. So y'all take care. I will probably catch up with y'all after I go home and get on the new truck. And once I get everything set up in there, then I will finally do a video of how I have everything set up, how I cook, what I used to cook, and how I clean, and just a day in the life of, you know, what I do on the truck. So stay tuned. Bye.